Bibisara Assaubayeva and Eileen Roebers against Anna Muzychuk. Those are the two matches. There are 4 games that will be played by these women, and the target score, knowing those 4 games, is obviously 2.5 points. That would win the matchup. If it ends in a 2-2 tie, then we will decide it with Armageddon in a bidding format. The current matches, and let's focus with our split screen view here on the 2 games at hand. James, this is the semifinals, and the winners of these 2 matchups will go on to play each other in the grand final.
Amazing. First, the 2.5 will win. So you want to bring your best here. And as we see on both sides, definitely everything's very even in both games. It's like a Sicilian with Zhu and Bibisara. Bishop e5 type of check with sort of the mix of the c3 Sicilian in it. So a little bit different out of the theory, out of the norm. More positional rather than tactical.
Yeah, I'm looking at the game between Eileen and Anna on the right side of the screen. Looks like there are at least more pieces on the board in that one, so a little bit more action. I do really like the position for white, and it's based really on these 2 bishops for Muzychuk. I don't really like the bishop on g7, hitting the pawn on e5, and it feels as though after the move a5, we have a couple of options for white. We can play queen to b3 and look to maybe capture back on b4 with the pawn, or we can play for b5 and look to gain space on the queen side.
And it definitely happened b5, but now the knight rerouting to b8 and then to d7 over to c5. Nice development with bishop c4, queen b3, and a bishop a3 could be very annoying to Anna's position.
Yeah, knight to h5 into f4 in that game on the right side of the screen makes perfect sense. The move e5 in the center of the board for Zhu Jiner looks like the tempting move to make, but not the decision, as instead e takes d5, and that was not the correct move.
And now cd, so do we have a c4? I'm always a fan of making moves like that. c4 was defense to d5. Pawn, could be a b5 there. Stuff could get very spicy. c4, b5, b3, take, d3. Like, what on earth is happening? Lock can happen there very quickly. I think this game is about to heat up depending on what happens.
Yeah, early on it seems like Assaubayeva has a very good game with the black pieces here. Zhu Jiner with that e takes d5 move, not the most ambitious. Meanwhile, Eileen has a great position, I would say, getting towards a potential advantage, meaningful advantage in that one. Rook a to d1, bringing the rook into the middle of the board is an obvious next move. And now the question is just whether Anna Muzychuk can defend and control that c5 square successfully. Meanwhile, Eileen is moving the pieces over. We'll probably see the knight on f3 retreat to d2, and then on f1 make its way to d5.
really strong. I do like the f4 move. My idea is to go f5 too. But there's some queen c5s in there that I'm not a fan of. Don't really want to trade queens too much. And she trades weight. Take. Take the pawn. Gotta pass her. Pass d5. Push. Bishop c4 really
Yeah,
strong.
the pawn going to the d file is pretty significant. Very helpful for white. The knight on c6 is extremely strong.
Push. You could take. Could do 97. I could get out of the way. What does she want? 97. Then push like it. Knight f5. There it is on the board. Oh, that was
Still dominance for Bibisara. I'm not sure about all the tactics in this game after bishop b5, and knight d6 is absolutely the move, undermining the e7 knight. And are we seeing, I think
Assaubayeva.
She did just hang rook. Put her hair in a ponytail. Is that the equivalent of Magnus taking the jacket off? Because this looks like a position up 2 pawns in a rook endgame, which should be completely over.
I just can't believe the dual kind. Like, I'm still over that. It's just like, the nerves are real. Eileen, Roberts is just absolutely crushing the field, and then hangs a rook here in that position. Shows, I think, some nerves. But, still more chess to be played. Dang, that was crazy.
The position was getting out of hand, though. Let's not forget. It was turning, so it wasn't, rook hang from a completely winning position or anything like that. I think Luzichuk was wrangling control of that game with the nice move knight takes on d6, but in this game right here, where the action is currently, unfortunately, it hasn't been the best game for Zhu Jiner. Those 2 pass pawns here are going to decide it, and this is a routine win for Bibisara, and that will end the game, the first game of this 4-game match.
First game done. That is great.